We got the story from the Post Millennial. DNC union launches GoFundMe after staff cut without severance. Last week, 2/3 of the DNC staff was laid off with little notice and no severance, the GoFundMe page states. Hold on. I got questions about this. This is a team fundraiser. Jill Brownfield and 10 others organizing this, saying, as such, we are creating a relief fund which will directly aid staff members, including single parents. This is a fundraiser with 17,891. I have to imagine that this is verified by GoFundMe because they're not going to allow someone to fraudulently raise money. But let's just understand what this means. If it is true that the DNC laid off 2/3 of its staff, the implications for the midterms and for 2028 is massive.
So do you still believe they have cash on hand?
The DNC is different from the Harris campaign.
No, I understand that at this point. So this is the DNC union, though. This is the staff union that has to raise the money for it. And these staffers...
But the point is this. The DNC laid off 2/3 of their staff.
That were promised that they would have work until the end of the year.
Wow, really?
Yes.
So the DNC actually nuked this 66% of the staff.
Yes, I think that it got to the point where, and it was the same for the Harris campaign. They were also, win or lose, they were promised they would be paid until the end of the year. That's how I've worked in politics for several years now. I sort of understand how this works at this point. You even do that in state politics. Even if you have a losing campaign, the idea is you still pay those people instead. You can't cut them off at the last second and expect them to survive. I mean, these are just low-level staffers.
I don't care.
No, I don't care either. No.
I mean, these people, these people are either completely delusional or they're liars. Mm-hmm. So I have no sympathy whatsoever, and I wouldn't give them a penny if they begged.
They got scammed, though.
I think it's. I don't care. I don't care. You don't get to join a group of bank robbers and go, oh no, they tricked me.
Right. I agree.
Come on, these people they've been supporting this corrupt machine and propping up a candidate, Kamala Harris, who didn't get elected, who was put in place. They lied about it every step of the way. They covered up that Joe Biden's brain was fried. These people deserve nothing.
Absolutely.
And I am glad they got laid off. But my point is, holy crap, the DNC just nuked 2/3 of their staff. Is that normal?
I have never heard of it. Not even, it didn't happen in 2020 after,
the Democrats are done.
Joe Biden was, right.
The Democrats have really done a lot of damage to their brand overall. Look, they'll sit there and they say democracy, but they snow jobbed Bernie for Hillary. Then Biden was questionably, he won the primary allegedly, but he did it by promising, both Warren and Buttigieg cushy jobs and stuff. And then the situation with Biden and Harris, they haven't had a legitimate primary in the past 3 elections. So and then they talk about our democracy, et cetera. And even though Donald Trump clearly won with, the entire country shifting right, not only did he win, the Electoral College and the popular vote, but there was massive gains for Republicans in California. The whole country shifted right.
The Rio Grande
Republicans,
Valley.
Yeah, I mean it's insane the amount of right swing that was ubiquitous across the whole country in the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And there are people that still say, "Oh, well, our democracy is in danger." It's like, you fools! If our democracy is in danger, you are the danger.
Yeah, right? I don't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. I don't assume that. I used to assume that the people who would talk about democracy without understanding what they did to Bernie in 2016, trying to get somebody elected who didn't win a single delegate at all. The fact, I used to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't anymore. If you're somebody who screams about democracy with a capital D all the time now, I just assume you're evil.
The way that they talk about democracy is reminiscent of the way that Mao used the term democracy in China. It was their democracy. People that were not members of the Communist Party were not part of their democracy. There was of course there was no democracy in Mao's China, but people that were considered rightists or on the right, they were all excluded. They weren't talking about them.
Just whenever you hear a Democrat say democracy, replace it with the word revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and nobody's buying it anymore. Actually, you saw Elon replace the word the other day. He said instead of threat to democracy, we're threats to bureaucracy, which I think is much more accurate. That is the real threat here.
I think they mean revolution. So when you look at Venezuela, what do they say? They say this person is a threat to the revolution. And even though that revolution happened 20 years ago, they still refer to it as now like it's an ongoing thing. Why? Because the revolution will never end. The revolutionaries who take over and then excise the these people from the population have to maintain the threat to control everybody. So imagine a Democrat saying Donald Trump is a great threat to our democracy. Donald Trump is a great threat to our revolution, their communist, Marxist ideologies or whatever it is. And guess what? They're done. They're nuking staff. You've got liberals on television jumping ship like scared rats. It's funny to watch. All of a sudden, Jon Stewart, Bill Maher, and many others.
You're talking to Cenk from TYT on X the other. I mean, the guy is getting.
He's coming on the show.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome! I can't wait for that.
We've had him on before. I'm excited. I think. I think Anna's a bit more genuine, but I'll give Cenk an opportunity to come around because we need people like him to at least open the door for all of his audience to see what's really going on. I'll take it.
Yeah, and I will say just on this topic one more time real quick. I don't know if you heard about this today, but there was a phone call between the DNC and donors today that are up in arms over what they just see here. They see this GoFundMe. They see the fact that the campaign is just totally out of money. What do you spend $1.5 billion on in 3 months? I mean, that is a record by far, and it's not even close. Okay, and now they're saying that they had to admit, they were forced to admit that they not a single poll that they had, not a single internal poll ever had her leading Donald Trump.
I saw
not
that.
one.
And I just saw that myself. You're 100% right. And also, the Democrats are the ones that are going to constantly scream about money in politics. Donald Trump won on something like a third of the money that the Harris campaign had, or that Harris, at least
I think it was $600 million. I think it was total.
So 2/3
in 2 years.
Yeah, in 2 years. And the Harris campaign had $1 billion. Never mind the PACs. Never mind all of the other stuff, because she was the only candidate that could take the money that was given to the Biden campaign and actually continue when he stepped down, or whatever you want to call it. But the Democrats would still swear up and down that money in politics is a bad thing. Barack Obama spent $1 billion. Hillary Clinton spent $1 billion. And Kamala Harris in 3 months or whatever spent $1 billion. And still, Donald Trump beat 2 of them.
Right.
You know what this is with Democrats right now? It's like a bunch of high school kids, and they're sitting in the room, and they're not cool. They're losers. And they don't know what's popular, and so they're just going like, "Oh, I love that new band," and then the cool kids are like, "That band sucks." Like, yeah, it sucks. I've always hated that band. So when you look at how these media personalities are now reacting, all of a sudden they're waking up to what's going on. It's because they saw the popular vote count.
Yep.
I will add to this. Did you guys know that Hillary Clinton never won the popular vote?
Oh, really?
Well, the Democrats are arguing Trump didn't win the popular vote because he's dipped below 50%. And I'm like, that's funny. Hillary Clinton had 48.2. So Hillary Clinton, they claimed on the popular vote by 3 million for nearly 10 years. And now they're claiming Trump didn't because he's slightly below 50%. He's actually at 50%. But hate to break it to you, he won the popular vote.
Yeah, that's just. I was talking to a friend of mine. That's just semantic cope.
Yeah, I mean,
seed.
at this point, at what point do we stop? At what point are we like, okay, you know what? These are the results. We're not going to keep counting. You look at California, still count. Still to this day, how many weeks after the election, still counting ballots in California?
That's
They
ridiculous.
they count faster in India.
Yeah, that's totally
and they've got
ridiculous.
1 billion people there. It's wild.
And in China.
China, yeah.
They count much faster.
Yeah, they do. And another thing is like the
She is just like, I counted it. That's for me.
It was 99% for some reason.
The state of Florida made massive changes after 2000 when there was the whole hanging chads, etc. And since then they have had no issues with counting their ballots. They finished counting the ballots 2 hours and 45 minutes after the polls closed in Florida. And they've offered help to any state that wants. Any state, they're like, we will show you, come take a look at how we do our stuff. You're more than welcome. You don't have to do the exact same thing. The things are going to be different from state to state, and maybe there's conditions that are different in your state than ours, but we'll come and help you out. And no one's taking them up on their offer, particularly the states like California that are still counting ballots. And the reason is because they don't want to actually count ballots quickly and accurately. They want that fuzziness. They want that squishiness, because then they can cheat.
How many?
I pulled up India's election system, and it's like, date of counting votes, 4th of June. They get 1 day
One
for
day.
984 million votes.
Yeah.
But you see
Is that, I'm gonna keep fact checking this because I'm sure someone's gonna be like, no, Tim, you don't understand. It's like, okay, fine, let me read about it. But continue.
there's that one race in California right now where all of a sudden the seat is looking like it's going to flip. Now, all of a sudden, thousands of votes difference, this congressional seat in California, and they keep counting the votes, and they're counting like a total of like 180 a day. And I'm like, what are you doing all day?
They're busy.
You can only count 180 ballots a day. Somebody in the chat needs to do the math for me here.
India counts all of its votes, which is 968 million eligible voters. So let's see, they say 642 million voters participated. It took them 1 day. 1 day.
Yeah.
All right. So congratulations, America. We have fallen behind India.
It is a choice. It is not something that's impossible to do. It is a policy choice by Democrat states, because you don't see this kind of stuff happening in red states.
But
it's
they say-
an actual policy choice.
They say that, we have to do it. We have to take this long to count. We can only count 120 ballots a day because democracy. And it's like, and so somebody like Ron DeSantis, he's like, okay, we're an open book down here. Come and audit the elections in Florida. We do it in 1 day and we get it right. You guys have no complaints down here.
Exactly.
Come and look at it.
Exactly.
Why can't you replicate our system?
Guys, that's
Because it's a choice, because they don't want to be accurate and quick. They don't want to be efficient. They like the squishiness. That's the only option.
Also, they know that most of the eyes are off of it after the main election, right? So after the presidential election, it gives them time for leeway for congressional seats, for the Senate, all of those things that are just as important. If we're coming right down to it, who controls the House, who controls the Senate? That's very important.
That's
but
why-
with half of the scrutiny that goes on during the presidential election.
Absolutely. And that's why these soon-to-be prisoners up there in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, thought they could get away with it by trying to flip that Senate seat back Democrat from Bob Casey. And hell, I mean, they were egregious about it. I'm sure you guys talked about it on the show. They were openly saying that they were going to violate the law,
You see, she walked that back though. She got scared.
Of course she did.
Can't go on camera and admit to violating election laws.
No, and I don't know if you saw that the
Federal
hearing.
election laws.
Yeah, the hearing that Scott Presler went and spoke about. He spoke at that hearing afterward and said, "I'm going to take your seat from you. I'm going to move here, and I'm going to run for your seat." She got.
I saw the Scott tweeted out the CNN story they did about him.
Oh yeah, they tried to
called
get him on there.
They called him controversial. I'm like, what? Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.